Thank you, Mark, and a big hello from London. We've had quite an interesting series of technical patterns this past week. You see, we've not only had weekly key reversals last week, we've also had the monthly key reversals for the month of April as well. And they all make for some interesting reading. Let's start with the weekly key reversals for last week. In the energy markets, we had weekly key reversals up in NYMEX RBOB futures and also in ICE gas oil futures. Though interestingly, not in either NYMEX WTI crude oil futures nor in ICE Brent crude oil futures. As for NYMEX heating oil futures, whilst they did have a hell of a range last week, they still did not manage to produce a weekly key reversal, up or otherwise. That all being said, NYMEX RBOB futures have seen a follow-on higher this week, and ICE gas oil futures, well, they started to have such a follow-on higher, but it has been harder work there. Elsewhere, London cocoa futures had a weekly key reversal up, though New York cocoa futures did not manage such a move higher. That being said, we have seen a follow-on higher to the London contract this week. New York cotton futures had a dramatic second recent weekly key reversal up last week. This was the second weekly key reversal within 3 weeks and comes on the back of the monthly key reversal made back in March. There's been a small follow-on higher this week so far. Chicago corn also made a weekly key reversal up last week, but only just. And I suspect this might be the reason why there has not been any follow-through higher, at least not yet. Elsewhere, EEX butter futures made, I suppose, a not unexpected weekly key reversal down last week, as the market had peaked in late March and early April. Interestingly, made with a weekly key reversal up. The resultant move lower was staggered, but highlighted last week by the weekly key reversal down. Now, we've had a small follow-on lower right at the start of this week, but it has been tempered yesterday. Finally, two interesting markets. There was a weekly key reversal up last week in Bursa Malaysia crude palm oil futures. This market had been the subject of much commentary in recent days, and it'll be interesting to see if there will be a follow-on higher to last week's actions. The reason why we don't know right now is that the market is having a series of public holidays and will reopen tomorrow, so watch out. And the last one is SGX SICOM TSR20 rubber futures. This one is of a special interest to me as a technical analyst, as it made a rare compound weekly key reversal down last week. Now, this is when a weekly key reversal down is encompassed by a bigger weekly key reversal that is in the same direction. So far, with only one trading session after the public holidays, we have a higher but indecisive doji cross as a reaction. Not the most convincing in either direction. Next, we have the monthly key reversals for April. We had monthly key reversals up in US dollar Colombian peso and US dollar Philippine peso. We also had monthly key reversals down in Aussie dollar against the US dollar and the Kiwi dollar against the US dollar as well. Thus, we saw US dollar stronger in some of the commodity currencies. However, the monthly key reversal down in Aussie dollar was not that impressive, despite having a weekly key reversal down built in early April. The monthly key reversal down in Kiwi dollar likewise had a weekly key reversal down built in at the start of April, but here the monthly action looked a little more confident to my mind, though neither were that impressive, and the resultant indecision seen in both pairs at the start of this week is symptomatic of what had happened before. Finally, and the most important monthly key reversal to my mind that happened in April, we had a monthly key reversal up in Chicago soybean oil futures. This is a related action to the weekly key reversal up seen in palm oil futures last week. Now, as yet, there has not been any follow through higher. Indeed, we have seen prices fall since last Monday, but I ask you to bear in mind that monthly key reversals are a longer term pattern. Any immediate move after one is a rare thing. However, it is very much worth your while to keep an eye on this one, as well as palm oil futures, and maybe to watch my weekly videos on soybean complex and palm oil futures, where I detail these in greater depth. To end with, I am always happy to share my videos, various charts, and answer any questions with anyone who wishes to contact me. And with that, I'll finish this section from London, and I hope you found these comments useful.